Hey my friends, it's Sunny Johnston, author of Invoking the Archangels, a 9-step process to heal your body, mind, and soul, and creator of Detox Your Life, a 44-day mind, body, spirit detox. Today, the topic is try versus do. The interesting thing about that topic is I'm not usually a versus kind of person. I don't get into this versus that, like hardly ever. But I am today. And the reason is I've had several different conversations over the last few months with a variety of different people on this topic, and I was talking about it in one of my classes, and just light bulbs were just going off all over the place. People were like, aha, 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 aha. And so I think it's really a valuable topic. Try versus do. So I know that there's a quote by Yoda, and I don't know what the quote is, and I'll mess it up because I just am terrible with quotes. But it's something to the effect of, there is no try, only do, or something like that. And I'll share with you the story that brought this up for me. There's many of them, but there were two that happened on the same day. And they were significant. So one is a client who I was talking to in a group, mentoring group. And she said to me that she was trying to grow her business. And so I asked her what were some of the things that she was doing to grow her business. And she said, well, I'm trying to make the time to do some marketing. I'm trying to make the time to write some blogs. I'm trying to go to networking meetings. I don't remember specifically, to give you an idea. And so then I said, okay, so what do you do with the rest of your time? And she says, well, I got to pick up my daughter at 4 o'clock at school, and then I've got to take her to wherever she had to take her to. I usually then I get home and I make dinner, and we eat dinner, and we kind of get ready for the day, and then I get up in the morning and I get breakfast going, and I get everybody off to school, and then I go to work, and then it just kind of starts all over again. And so it never seems like I have enough time to do the things that I want to do for me and for my business, to grow my business. And I said, well, I can observe something right away that might be helpful to you. And so I said, the things that you had to do for other people, take your daughter to school, pick her up and take her over here, make dinner, those things, you do all of those. You said, well, I have to go here, and I'm going to go there, I do this, and then I do this, and I do this, and I do this. But the things that had to do with your business, the things that were for you personally, yourself, every one of those you said try. I'm going to try to go to the networking group. I try to do this, and I try to do that. Well, you're doing all the others. You're not trying to pick up your daughter from school. You didn't say that. You said, I pick up my daughter from school. You didn't say, I try to make dinner. You said, I make dinner. Why is it less important, or you have less of a commitment, or why is it acceptable for you to do these certain things but only try with these certain things, when your heart, your words in your heart are saying, I really, really want to do this. I want to make an impact on the world, and I want to make a difference. I want to show up differently, and I want to connect with people because I know I can help them. If that's in your heart of hearts, and you're trying to do it, then number one, you're letting yourself down. Number two, you're letting the world down. And I know that sounds strong, but I want it to come across strong, because how many times does our language even say that? The way that I look at try is it's an excuse in advance. You're putting up a bumper already before anything even happens, just in case you don't make it. It's an excuse in advance. And I'm not saying there aren't things that I use the word try in. So it's not that it's right or wrong, it's look at your level of commitment. And look at your follow through. And make a decision. Are you going to do it, or or are you going to try to do it? Now, the other example was the same day, a little bit later, I talked to a family member of mine who's been very sick and struggling with cancer. And I was asking him how he was doing with some of the visualization techniques and the affirmations and the shifting of the mental energy. And I was just talking to him about it to get some insight into where he was. And this was probably 2 hours after I had the conversation in my mentoring group. And he said, well, I'm trying to do some visualization. When I lay down, I try to visualize that the cancer is getting smaller. I try to do some affirmations, but I usually get really tired or my head hurts so bad that I just kind of go into, you know, not thinking mode. But I am trying to do those things. And now this was fresh on the heels of my other conversation. So, and then I said, so what else are you doing, like throughout your day? Like, what are you doing? He goes, well, I go to work, and at that time he was still working a full day during radiation and chemotherapy. And so I go to work, and then I go to radiation at 3 o'clock, and I go to, I get my chemo port changed or whatever on Fridays. And so he was just telling me about some of the things that he does. And I said, you know, I have to be really honest, blunt with you, because I think it's important for you to hear this from me. And so I just told him, I said, all of those things that you're doing, going to radiation, going to work, getting your chemo, you know, going to bed, whatever you're doing, those are the things that you're doing in your life. That's where you're putting your priority. But some of the things that we talked about before, and you get to choose where you want to put your priority, but I want to create the awareness just in your language around where your priority is, that when I'm asking you about, you know, are you taking enough time for yourself, are you having enough rest? I'm trying to get rest, I'm trying to get extra sleep, I'm trying to do some visualization, I'm trying to do some meditation, I'm trying to do some affirmations. And I said, so do you try to get radiation, or do you do it? Do you try to make it to work? Or do you go to work? Do you try to have chemo? Or do you have chemo? And again, that contrast of the commitment, doing it, versus the excuse in advance, trying. And I really want to be clear here. I am not in judgment of whether you're trying or whether you're doing. The only thing I'm wanting to create an awareness around for you is if you're letting yourself down. If you are telling yourself, I want to do something, and then you just show up trying. I want you to be aware of it for yourself. That's what all of this journey is about, is self-awareness. So if you can have that insight for yourself, then you'll make some changes, possibly. I know for myself, I tend to be a doer. I'm doing it. And so try isn't something that I use very often. But I know that when it does come out of my mouth, it means I'm not committed. If I say, yeah, I'm going to try and make it to whatever, that's usually I'm not going. Because I'm very focused and driven. And it's not very often that I feel wishy-washy about something. So if I don't say I'm going to be there, then I'm probably not going to be there. But I don't even waste my energy on the word try. Now again, that doesn't mean always. Sometimes it does come out of my mouth, and when it does, I go, I am not committed to that. Okay, my friends? So I hope that helps you understand. I would love to hear some input and some of the experiences you've had. Do you observe that within yourself? Do you notice it within others? If you notice it in somebody else, you've got to be noticing it in yourself somewhere too, unless you've done a lot of work on yourself. But I'd love to hear your comments and feedback. And if you enjoyed this video, if you got any value from it, please get out there and share it on social media and let people know about it. That's how we spread information like this, and how everybody can develop and grow and expand. And again, honoring that everyone's on their own journey. It's not right or wrong to try or to do. It's about your own self-awareness and where your commitment to yourself is. And so often what I see is that people are more committed to everything they're doing for somebody else than the things that they really want to do for themselves in their business and their growth. And in my mentoring work, I really see that a lot. So I thank you for joining me, and I'd love to again hear back from you and see how this video affected you and what you think about it. And as always, create peace, love, and light, my friends.